Welcome back, friends, to APAC North. It's our final matchup, but it's our match of the day. Talon versus Cyclops. I'm very excited for this game and what it can offer in the grand scheme of things here in APAC North. Reminder, with this game, there's 9 more points that these two teams can collect, and they'll both have a hard time if they end up losing today or going to overtime, which technically could be bad for both at the same time. But hey, this is what we're here to discuss. I'm Mr. Medic, your host. With me on the desk are Fresh and Fabian, who are seated because there's a lot to look into. Overwhelmed at
I've
the
gone really
prospect.
small again.
I've nice to sit down.
For the first time, I'm taller than everybody.
Yeah, it's the first.
I'm not
time
even
ever.
short, but everybody else is so tall in comparison.
I might have to
pretty
raise my
short.
chair up.
Short kings rise up. Let's go. Well, friends, let's have a chat about these two teams, Talon and Cyclops, starting off with Talon, because they have been a surprisingly great, well-improving team here in the league.
They have been improving. I mean, they've been quite up at the top. They've just lost one game against Fnatic, the last one that they played, and it was honestly quite a even game, I would say. Both sides were really good in defense, but I do think, as we spoke about in the pre-show, that Talon has gotten the sickness of not being able to win attacks from Fnatic, because they have had a rough time lately. In the last 4 games they played, and this is including Korean Open, obviously, so it's even against opponents that aren't really on the same caliber. They've only won 6 rounds in 4 games, or well, in 25 rounds, if that's how you want to count it. And before that, they actually had 10 out of 16. So it's quite a big difference in their attacks here.
And that graphical kind of trend is a little bit worrying if you look at the round performance there. Starts at +4 in that first game, then +3, +1, going into the negatives, obviously losing. I think they started well, and the worry with Talon, I kind of put them in the same kind of boat as Fav, is will it stay consistent throughout the season? They've put themselves in a great position, mind. You know, if you said to them, you can have 8 points out of possible 12 kind of going into the Playday 5, you start in second place, would you take it? They would have absolutely snapped your hand off.
100%. I'm just looking forward to see if they can turn this trend around, because I don't know if it's been a fluke that they've been winning these rounds in the beginning of the attacks, or if it's just that they were prepared early.
Over there.
She is.
Yeah, well, that's not what I meant, but sure. I don't know if it's a fluke. We'll see. Hopefully they can get back on the winning track with it.
Oh, Cyclops are up and against it. They're a team that we've always seen at majors, but barely. So this might be the opportunity for them to kind of lose it all if they were to slip up against Talon, Jack.
Genuinely, this might be the slap in the face they need. Because there's a lot of adjectives that you can describe this team as. You know, they stylistically play different, alternate siege, disruptive siege. You look at some of the operators that they can pull out, the actual main attacker defenders on this particular graphic looks pretty normal. However, that's the way that they try and play. And I think that the rest of the league have caught up with them a little bit, whereas KAG have kind of stood still. And that, what they're used to, what they know, isn't quite working, and it's not working as consistently as what it did before. That round performance graphic again tells a story of a team that when they're on it, when that disruptive playstyle is working, it's working really well. They're winning by 5 rounds, 4 rounds. When it doesn't work, it's not working well. They're losing by 5 rounds, they're losing by 4 rounds. So it really just is about which KAG turns up today.
Yeah, they've had some low costs on some players, so hopefully they can turn up today and actually have more of an impact in more rounds, and that might be the change we need.
The map. Let's see what it is. It's that simple. Let's bring it up.
That's simple.
8 will go. 1 will be left. What?
I was pointing to it, but I went to the wrong side.
Oh, it's plain. Or not.
No. It was in comp back in the day.
I feel like that would suit KAG.
Probably
a map like plain.
Spawn peak everywhere.
I'll never
They're just
forget.
running out with a C4s down there.
I'll never forget King George telling us that Favela will be the best Pro League map. I can't wait to play it. Anyways, world champion and all. Clubhouse is the pick here for Cyclops. They removed Villa, that looks suspiciously like Oregon, and it'll be here. Starting side, attack, as Talon have picked defense. Jack.
Sometimes you get these map picks where, in a best of 1, neither team wants to ban it because it's low preference for neither team. And it's the Clubhouse is nobody wants to ban it because they're thinking the other will ban it, and we've ended up on it because no team likes it. I have this as Talon's 9th preference map this stage. I have it as KAG's 7th preference map this stage. So it really is a middle ground where I suppose it gives a lot of opportunity for each team if neither team likes the map as the map.
It gives them opportunities, but I think it's actually a very good map for Talon. It doesn't make sense when you say that it's the 9th preference.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is we know how KAG plays aggressively, right? KAG keeps peeking everything. They have aggressive
You
players.
can do a lot of that in Clubhouse.
Yeah, you can do a lot of it, but if you have the patience on Clubhouse, I think that they can come through, and I think that they let KAG play aggressive, they slow down the pace,
And punish it.
and they punish it,
Yeah.
and then they go to win it.
Winner?
I took Talon, I'm pretty sure.
I was a flip-flop on this one, wasn't I? I started off being Talon. I've gone for KAG.
Sorry, I went for KAG as well, then.
We both went for KAG.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there you go. Let's see how it goes. It's KAG versus Talon. A lot on the line for this one. Let's toss it to our casters. Happen, Fluke, or awaiting. Enjoy.
On air.
Had to happen. Had to happen eventually, didn't it? It's happened
wasn't
to
me this
everybody
time.
else. No, it's well, it's
Hasn't happened to me yet this
no.
stage.
I think I was the last one because it's happened to Tim and Des like 1,000 million times.
And Fresh forgot to.
Fresh, very recently. Fabian knew, but it will happen. Can we? We'll take that throw. Just you beat Milos and throw it to me, and we'll do that throw again.
Let's toss it to our casters, Emmy and Hap.
Thank you very much, Milos. Yeah, we are here without any mistakes, ready to go into this Clubhouse showdown. For the second time today, we are finding Klube in front of us, and last time it was an 8-rounder. I'm not going to say who it went to, but it was a very quick game, and you can go find it. It's the second game of the day. Let's see if Talon versus Cyclops can offer us a little more meat for the substance.
I was going to say, it's not a map that I get bored of, but we haven't really seen it to the full capacity
We
yet,
had pretty
so
much a half.
we had a half. So we're going in for the second one now, and let's see if this one will be a little bit longer. Ibana, again, default ban. Thatcher or Mav coming in. And there you have it, Thatcher. Now, the defense is where it might get a little bit more spicy here and there, but wouldn't be surprised if there's a mirror in there, maybe even a Cade. There you have it.
Where's the Cade?
There's one.
You sticking with the mirror?
I'm sticking with the mirror.
Ireland.
I'm going for the mirror.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We're doubling down. I mean, I got 3 out of 4 correct right now, so even if I don't get this one, it's already better than most of our percentages on the. Oh, there we go!
Oh,
Full
you're
4
winning.
out of 4.
You know, the previous
Such
game,
a funky band this is.
I thought I put in a different team on the previous predictions, but I didn't press save on the document on my phone. I'm sad about that, but I'll accept being incorrect for the previous game. I have gone with Talon. This game is my prediction.
Okay.
Oh, is that a blitz in the hands of?
I mean, this is the thing, right? For now, we're like very excited. Oh my god, Fuse Blitz.
the Fuse Blitz Zero approach.
Yeah, the Fuse
Famous
Zero.
on Clubhouse.
You guys might not know it, but it is.
Oh, look at that!
Oh, it's gone already.
And there's the Zero. Yeah.
We're having none of it today.
I like how it's the exact 3 operators we called. Yeah, okay. This is something that came up as a conversation. So attacker repick, if you're somehow unfamiliar with it, you can now change your operator up until about 3 seconds before the round starts, and then it locks in. And Anaton actually has a really high pick rate on Blitz because he frequently chooses Blitz and then changes in the attacker repick. And I'm curious about whether he just does that so he remembers to repick or not.
It might just be because they quickly want to select their spawn, like,
Yeah.
you know, and then you just pick the operator you need afterwards. I mean, it's only 15 seconds, so you gotta make sure everything is right. Maybe, I guess. I have no clue. Either way, we are getting underway. There's some openings being made. I believe that is at the garage wall already. Gatorada opening that one up swiftly towards Ken Lounge as well. It's a lot of early control being taken here by the side of Cyclops. Kanos, who is ready to challenge potential upside down repels, instantly getting himself removed. Probably was not aware of Black Ray just hanging there with the LMG, and that's going to be the opening kill of that game. A very good start, an early start here for Cyclops. But we see them make these starts so often, and not always they manage to actually secure it in the end.
Well, now they've been able to get that opener. Cyclops, they're sort of on a bit of a drive here because they haven't been as hot as a lot of teams expected, or as a lot of us expected them to be able to be. They're a team that has frequently been towards the top of the sort of boards, and Talon on the other side, they really came in sharp this split. They haven't been entirely out of knocks, but they did top the board at least one of the weeks, and now with Damwon Gear being able to put themselves a little bit further ahead, they've got to see if they can try and match at that distance and keep up. And a win here against a T1 team, or a usual T1 Titan team, as I should say, as they're all T1 teams, and Cyclops, who are often at the top of the board, this is one of the most important games for Talon to sort of really signify them as a fighting for the top spot team.
And it's in pushing in from third. There's of course a closed barricade out there. Has to punch that out. It's a bit not difficult. It's very easy, but a bit dangerous rather. That's what I was looking for at that moment. BlackRay receiving some damage. These Selmas are attempted to be tricked. I'm not quite sure if they succeeded. I think they have. Senator spots a player down there. That might just as well be a quick swing, but the drone gets taken out, so he knows that most likely they have relocated. And now as he tries to open up that barricade with the pistol, actually receives small amounts of small fire towards him.
Now, can they try and capitalize some of the pressure here onto blue? There's a bit of drone, a bit of intel, and a little bit more of Flores, pushing them further away. Aegate goes for the drop and takes the spine of Demic out. There's a bit of a trade there inside the back of the box, and Suzuki does a bit more work. Oh, with a Black Ice shield, no less, being the last thing he sees on that turn. If you're also new here, welcome to one of the best shield players in the whole world, Anaton.
It is kind of a signature, right? Like back in the day, it used to be banned almost every single game against them. They stopped playing it. And now teams are not really that scared anymore for Ismonti. Maybe not rightfully so. Because that was a very successful round there for Cyclops. It went quite quick. I mean, it all started off with the rotate towards blue. That was caught off. Canos lost his life. And after that, it just kind of snowballed. Walls and hatches being opened up. Just the pushes coming in right through with the gun skill the Cyclops players have. Because this is something that you should not be mistaken about. The gun skill on every single member of Cyclops is absolutely insane. They are very talented players, and that's what allowed them to play this different kind of siege for such a long time, because even if it might have not been the most effective tactic available, also known as meta, if I say that right, they were able to get away with it. Famous rounds, dropping the diffuser on Oregon in spawn to head towards the side and win. I'm not quite sure if that was against Talon back then as well, but it could just as well have been. Of course, Talon back then was a contender at the bottom of the scoreboard. Now they are 3 points ahead of Cyclops, and winning this game here is going to be basically guaranteeing them for a top 4 spot, and thus a place at the APAC playoffs.
That's it. It's an important possibility of catch-up here. It's an important chance for them to drive themselves in. Canos is about to find the first fight and finds it well. Aegator removed quite early on. He's taken out of the equation. They lose the Flores drones, which they were using as sort of a bit of a strong armor push for the control down on the bottom of blue. It's a slightly different story here. You don't really need to clear yourself too much drop room around this top side. Most of the times you're pushing onto the side is from a bit of a flat surface. It's not really always anyone trying to put the pressure back in, but it seems like they want to go and find this player on the bottom. BlackRay makes a heap of noise. Do they know how far Canos has gone? They're going to see if they can find him.
More drones coming in indeed. BlackRay will be droning out himself now ahead. He seems to be in a position to provide some support, but will quickly be pushed back upstairs as the drone had spotted him out. There's also someone on that kitchen hallway, of course, just checking for now. BlackRay is getting closer and closer. Anaton is leading in with that drone, and this will definitely be some good amount of information to come through as soon as they do check Motorcycle. So drone not taken out, but definitely a lot of information being given away to BlackRay here, who's just trying to spiral right around a bit with the buck opening up as well. They're going to be getting that information. The gunfight will be had on. Misses the first opportunity. Still gets the kill without taking a single point of damage, though. BlackRay turns the man count back equal.
They also had a drone there watching the corridor. As soon as they took the swing, they knew if he was going to go left and right, and we saw that they had the body up by that door, by that hatched fence. So they really had every single route out locked in. Here's the question of pace, though. Cyclops, they now need to try and direct themselves towards the side itself, and that almost takes care of Hetty, but he survives on a sliver, and he still has that pocket C4 to delay and push push and put pressure on the potential chance at a plant. Passing the minute mark now, still stacking themselves up here. Cyclops do not have control over garage. They do not have control over construction. But construction at this point is probably going to be a little bit easier to put the test in. Blackray, he might go for something hot and aggressive here. He has 2 grenades, but he also has a huge bout of explosive coming above him there. They've got all the verticalities opened up by the grenades and the danger that can be done. They've got to get themselves stacked up. This one just going to try and curve and careen itself in, but it's caught by the Wamai disc that burns it out. Close quarters. Blackray, a huge rotate around the other side. So as you see, gets one. Everything gets smoked off. No approach fire that way. The Candelas start to pop off, but nobody's really caught by them. They're still waiting. And Gatorada and Blackray to do something on the opposite side. Anaton and Suzy C are a little bit locked out here. Anaton just goes for a deep dive with the diffuser in hand. He's tucked in on the corner. Soldier, he's just close on the side. They're looking to try and get the catch, and they do. Popped off, swung around. 1 body left, but no time. Talon take the second round.
Well played and very accurate shots coming down there from the Talon members on what essentially was about to become a retake, because the diffuser was going down. They needed to push. They did not want those 45 seconds to go against them. And well, they find the first covering body that just hopped in from the window. The second one quickly snapped to from the balcony up on that rappel. And Cyclops, well, this is why you need control of 2 areas. You have that ball open. You can go for a plant theoretically, but if you do not have anybody near that garage, there's a lot of freedom for the defenders to just continue moving towards these plant spots. And, you know, they did take out the player there. They did have the kill. Just no one there to actually use it as a pressure point. And that is what allows them to start swinging. That is what allows them to single out the engagement onto the window first, because you have that little bit of a sidestep. And after that, just focus on the one person that is repelled up with 2 people running out. Worked successfully there for Talon, and now they'll be headed towards the gym bedroom. At Tertiary site, not considering going downstairs as of just yet. And as we continue with all the repicks coming in, it's the glass that keeps on being brought by Blackray now, turning into a Yana. Maybe a little bit more of a useful operator in some of these senses. 2 grenades, a Gon 6, Gemini Replicator, just so much utility you get from that.
Opting to go to Jim, not going back down to CC. They'll see if they can try and put more pressure in. Canos took a lot of time with this play in the basement. And sure, as I said, Cyclops are very good at setting up every single lockdown. They knew as soon as the push came through, if one of them wasn't going to get him, there was other people on every other exit that could make sure that not long after that, they would be able to get that solidity. But still, it doesn't go elsewhere. It becomes this sort of problem and this drain of time that you then got to pick up everything and try and put the pressure on. Because of that, they didn't quite have the control over Garrett. They didn't quite have logistics either, and it became just a sort of, let's just try and strong arm our way in. Here, they're going to see if they can get those loose threads a little bit earlier.
They'll do their best indeed. Blackray holding off a potential rotate here from launch to bar. Canos, is he aware though? That is the big question. Does he know that was being watched? It's no longer anymore though. Blackray looking to put some pressure on, heading towards those main stairs. There is some barbed wire there, but it's easily dispatched off with either a grenade or, of course, the Gon 6. It's now also the spot coming through though on the player that is still around launch. That will be some valuable information, but Blackray going downstairs for some reason. Not quite sure if there is a roamer down there. No, it doesn't seem to be the case. So maybe wanting to go on a bit of a hunt again, hoping that Canis will drop there.
I think that's it. It's either hoping he drops or trying to maybe hook a grenade up top, but it still requires a lot of intel to be able to pull off a play like that. And, you know, there's always the sneaky rotate onto blue without making as much noise, which in the guise of the Nook might be something possible. But look at the slight difference here. When before I said how many of them were going for the push to help him, here they've got other bits of business to take care of, and that is the chance, the approach on the site take itself. Long arm grenades aren't quite getting the catch that they want. As you can see, Gator on the far side as well, trying to start some work with the Flores drones. Here's a fight of Canos, still just tippy-toeing on the side there, not quite getting an angle as of yet, but the longer they're there, the more chance they have to cause some devastation later.
Yeah, that's Azzy still inside of CCTV cache as well, able to stop this approach from Anaton. So he just being here is going to be so massive for Talon. He has the support from below as well. There's nothing they can really do. Blackray is still looking to find a roamer with 30 seconds left. He is not there. He's never been there in this round. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Pings are coming through. The first frags are going in favor of Talon here. And it's a 5-on-3 situation. Talon are picking them apart here as they try and execute. Even a Frostmat comes into play, and it's a flawless round to finish it off. And where they put in so much manpower or time or resources towards that potential roamer downstairs, it's just not there. And maybe a Nomad would have been a better job for that. I mean, there's not that many places they can come back up from. You'll hear it if they do. You just lock those off, and you have 5 people able to hit the side instead. So Talon, really good round there. Cyclops, big mistakes with trying to hunt down the roamer that wasn't even there.
It's just, we saw how good they can be at closing down a roamer beforehand, and we also saw that it sort of scarpered their actual execute plans because they didn't have much time left. They went with an alternate there, but it was so much sort of half dedication, it felt like. When did those sort of Selmas pop off around the CC push? It was about a minute 30, whilst there was still a single player down there, whilst Galarada was the only player putting pressure onto the windows of the bedroom itself as well, and whilst I think there was still a player trying to put pressure in on the underneath, it was a little bit too spread out. It was a little bit too kind of pushed apart. Compare that with their opening attack and their opening execute on the site we're about to double down on Church. It was so direct. They had somebody doubling up each of the sort of takes. It was all the pushes coming from the opposite side. And it was really well rehearsed and put together, and that just all fell apart on the previous round.
Yeah, the last round we had 2 people on this CCTV wall. We had 1 in that basement in the main stairs, 1 on the roof, and we had 1 rappelled up on the side of the garage watching into the side. You're not really doing anything there except for holding potential run-outs, jump-outs, or careless rotations. And Talon, if you're not being pressured, you're not going to be making these careless rotations. So I'm not quite sure what the plan there was from Cyclops. It didn't really work out. I'm sure there was a reasoning behind it. It could potentially be a counter-strat, like, you know, there was always someone playing downstairs, but maybe Canis decided that after he got picked up like that, you know, I'm not going to play there anymore for the next couple of rounds, just to make sure that we don't lose unnecessary lives. I like how it suddenly fit. It's like it didn't fit until it did.
Just had to try something a little bit different. A little bit different here is that control of the flank, the roam, and seeing if the Jackal can do anything. Is that just testing it? They're like, okay, I will use a second just to make that clicker, because it is a rotate that they'll be using. It needs to click for them. It needs to be quicker for them. And here, once again, they're doing their same setup, the same pressure that they're able to put before. Talon, they're all playing inside the site. There's not a loose player, not a loose thread for Cyclops to try and pull apart this time, and I wonder if that's a different story, as the Flores drone is able to get all the way behind the shield.
Yeah, finds it. I mean, it's not the end of the world, right? As long as they have a player or 2 watching towards the blue area, they're not going to be able to take free control off it. Damick, however, needs to be a bit more like watching. That is a lot of damage done to Soldier. Not quite sure. Probably from the hatch there. Just need to make sure that they don't let this drop happen. And as Aziz loses his life, it's the field hospital that gets Soldier back up to full HP. But still, a lot of damage done to the side of Talon.
Yeah, getting open that hatch. And Anaton was sitting on it as they tried to get it through.
They impacted it, yeah. So bought some of his own HP trying to impact it. Second Selma now going off, though. That is going to be opening up that hatch.
Well, 40 seconds. They've got themselves a little bit of control here over the top of the kitchen hatch. Ayagator, he's going to try and pick himself up and offer some support on the other side of the push. But with Anaton going down, that's the Jackal up off the kitchen. That's a little bit more of their kitchen push taken out of. Suzu C able to find the end of Demic, but Canos keeps that body balance back and forth. It's another spray up through the verticality. Talon, they're testing and contesting everything that they can. They know there's about to be a swing round. Ayagator gets one more. Gatorada down the corridor is caught out. 2 versus 2. Still, once again, Soldier going to go for an important fight in blue and wins it out, but the diffuser itself is round behind the chassis. 7 seconds, got to try and stick it, but he's probably going to find the fight. First swing, but cannot!
That was so
close.
close.
The second, so close.
He flicked right on the head. That is such good, awareness of the player there, but unfortunately he couldn't connect the shots on that second player. that was almost an amazing clutch coming through there from the side of Cyclops. So Talon, they lock it off. And again, a very deserving round for them. They managed to slow down Cyclops quite a bit. There was a bit of a risky play getting the impact on there to stop the hatch from completely opening. And of course, they had the salvation stations ready to heal Soldier back up to full HP if he managed to live through it. And it's exactly what happened. But it could have been a loss of 2 lives there as soon as they went for it. But, you know, sometimes high risk pays off like that.
I think this was what I liked about Talon here is previously they just suffered entirely inside Armory, underneath the hatch and around the boxes from the push. The push just took them. That's on the head. I mean,
How is that? Okay, I'm going to say, how is that not a headshot?
how is that not a headshot? That's the
That's
thing.
rough.
If we were
It's
on
probably
LAN,
ping.
if we were on LAN, it might have been a different story. If that happened to me in ranked, I would be mad.
I would also be posting this on Twitter saying, how is this not a headshot? But we're playing on a higher ping, of course. Because
Yeah, we have to. That is
We
the
have to.
limitations of online play, and all the players are unfortunately winners. It's one of the quotes that players say is playing the game online and playing the game on LAN is almost like 2 different games.
It is.
It's like it's unbelievable experience.
And this is why you have some players perform a lot better on LAN as well than they do on online. Some players, their playstyle just fits a lot better with that 0 ping, with the 0 latency, of course. Either way, opening being made. It's tried high, but the Mew Jammer will be getting that. So it needs to go a little bit to the side or a bit higher. Cyclops is going to be doing. Opens that one up. This basically creates a bit of a half fall, right? Like you can jump over it, but it is a bit... Oh, actually, just completely open it. Never mind. I thought it was going to create a small bit of a half fall there, but...
I like the Mew Jammer just sat
Yeah, the Mew Jammer is still alive, but the rest of the...
You have no power here.
I will stop the next hard breach, that's for sure. Ooh, that's a shadow being spotted there by Soldier. Trying to shoot the toesies there. We've seen that a couple of times before, especially on Theme Park. Not this time for them, though.
Wow, this is a very different approach here from Cyclops, and I much prefer it because they're doing other work earlier. It was about a minute later last time round, and sure, Black Gray's still now going to try and pay some attention towards that player on the bottom floor, if there is one, which there isn't. Heady is the closest thing,
so
but otherwise,
confused.
Talon have pulled themselves entirely. Canos, he's just hanging out in the strip club. He's waiting and enjoying for any pressure that might come from this side with the holes that are open. He's not exactly been subtle about it, but at least this time, Cyclops, they're paying attention to the site, and they're together paying attention to the site itself. Sure, there's a player going off to do some hunting down below, but the other 4 are directing their attention towards actually getting some pressure onto the site.
Black Ray is just there, right, at this point. I mean, yes, some kills were gained by Black Ray, but... At the same time, this is 2 rounds now where the majority of it is being spent hunting down a roamer that isn't actually in that spot. I think they need a Jekyll or better roaming, something like that. As Aegator is going to be able to pick up that first kill. But Canos is now in a position where he can start rotating back up. And the big question is, do they have a drone? Are they aware? I mean, some of the guns are definitely flicking over every now and then towards those main stairs. Gatorada is waiting below. That's definitely a drone. They are well aware, but the wrong angle is being checked, and he gets the kill. Canos is going to be able to escape with it, but there's more guns watching his direction, so he needs to be very careful if he rotates back up.
Oh, Canos causing more trouble and problems, but at least Cyclops has been able to do the structural work on the site, still in and amongst that loose player. They have 20 seconds to try and dive their way through, and Canos gets caught by Aegator. Now it's the moment to go, go, go. The press is going to come through onto that player just inside the rafters. Demic can hold this off as well as he can. Aziz gets one. Demic gets one of his own. Suzy C can't quite find his way through, though. None of them have stepped into the building because Talon just sort of say no.
As soon as the breach went down, the player on there, I mean, there was 2 on the window, 1 on the door. From the player from Garage, this again, I'm going to say it. This is why Garage is so important, everybody. From that Garage, from the rafters, you can hold the jump in from the window, you can hold the walk-in from the breach, or from the doorway from construction, and you can even challenge breach if that is the last player out there. It's such a strong position if you have a good gunner there. And it was just portrayed by the sides of Talon, by the sides of Damic. Picking up 2 or 3 kills as a result from that single place. And now we're headed back towards the gym and bedroom. And Cyclops are not switching out yet to a Jackal, which, considering how much they have struggled with knowing whether or not there is a player downstairs, should have been a good opportunity for them. And I'm being pretty harsh on him right now, but if you have one player just watching the basement for 2 minutes straight and there's no one there, that is a player that's essentially wasted until that last minute. So either they need to drone better, start from strip, start from like the ends of the map and go towards the center, or they need to grab an operator which allows them to clear it out a bit easier. Is that to stop any Selmas to go through? We don't often see a Mew Jammer being placed behind a shield, but that is to stop any Selmas that could be used to get rid of the shield. So they might be onto something there.
Time will tell. Time will tell if that is a setup that might come together, but if it isn't, 5-1 half. Where have we seen that before?
Oh, yes. I think that was the previous Clubhouse game we've casted, Emmy.
Yes.
I think that one ended very quickly as well, 7-1.
Indeed, it ended as a 7-1. So, Cyclops, not to sort of have that hanging knife above this game, but there is already a testament to the results from this. Galarada, he slipped his way in. Canos, he's done what he's done this whole game so well, which is be slightly out of the way. Not too removed from the push, and he's made sure he always pushes at a time that's convenient for pulling things apart. Even if he doesn't get a kill from it, he draws some attention, he draws some focus.
Oh no.
He might be able to draw a player. No, Galarada turns left instead of right, and he might not know how that just maybe saved his life.
Canis again alive. This time he's actually downstairs. So let's look at what Black Ray will decide to do. Is he going downstairs or is he going up the stairs? He's for now staying in the bar. Has some grenades as well. He's waiting for the camera to go on, but decides he cannot really wait any longer. Has these grenades he can use, of course, to put up some pressure from below, get some kills in potentially, very important ones. You might not know it, but there's someone right next to the hatch soldier. So if he manages to toss that in at the right angle, might be able to pick up a kill there. Kenna still looking to go back up as well. The pressure is there from the side of Talon on Cyclops, and there's 3 of them on the jacuzzi balcony here. They really want to be pushing through there, but it's also very smart. They haven't completely opened up the bathroom wall, so it's still not vaultable. They need to open this up further, so they need to get a slit. There is no slash, so they need to make sure they shoot that open if they want to put the pressure through. Oh, Canos
is caught! Galarada swings round. One punch hole too many. Saw the sliver of a Finker before the Finker took every sliver out of his mortal being. 40 seconds. They're able to get the pressure, and they've pushed that body outside of the shower and the bathroom itself as well. Now they have some width. Now they have some control. And now they've removed that shield, the power position to bite back. Just saw an elbow, but pulls themselves closer. They've ducked in, got close, hopped in, locked out, but dropped down from the little ankle hold before. They push into the space. This makes sure that he doubles it up and puts it to a 3 versus 3, but they're locked out. Soldier has to swing at the right time. It's a little bit of a showdown right now, and the first is broken, but there's Hetty with 1. Can he find the second? No, Black Ray bites back, and suddenly there it is almost a 1 versus 1. That's the reveal. They know where the player is. They know they can stick out this plant. They're not entirely sure where he might have gone. He's tucked himself background in for the push here, and they just have to watch this from the 2 different angles. They might be outside. He's not entirely sure, but the low down and the lying down means they won't get the catch, whether he goes round. ADS, he's looking for the second. Either side of the gym equipment, they reveal themselves, but it's the pop-up from Black Ray that gives Cyclops the second round.
Well played by CAG there, and even though they were struggling a little bit to find Canos before, maybe a small mistake made there, punched the barricade, or not the barricade, punched the wall there, gives away a lot of information to the Finka that just happened to be outside there, picked up the kill, and as a result, pressure gone. There is no more roamer. Canos has been killed, and they now can fully focus on the side. And that's where they find that success. That is where they find the round win. Now they're headed over to the defense, though. Talon on their attacks. Looking to finish it here. 3 rounds is all they need. They have 6 opportunities to get those 3. They need 50% of the next rounds. If they don't, then either Cyclops wins or we're going to OT.
One or the other.
It's one of the 3 options.
Yeah, there's multiple different options. Talon, they've got themselves into a good position now, and attacking on club is one that for a lot of teams can become quite formulaic. You've got to look at how, to be fair, Cyclops, they started well and then things started to fall apart. In those last couple of rounds, they become much closer because their pushes, for me, became much tighter, much more finely tuned. Yeah, Talon needs to sort of try and put that pressure on because Cyclops do have that ability to warm up into a game with some aggression and some confidence.
I like the bulletproof camera that has been set up. I mean, it's such a small thing, but it's aiming towards the construction side. Now, if there is pressure coming down from there, they cannot just get rid of it. I believe the little exterior part of the reinforced walls blocking off the left side that is not bulletproof. And then, of course, you have the Syria laser gate that is in there to stop any explosives to be tossed at it. Let's say Gone 6 or, of course, the impacts from Zofia. And that way you're going to be able to waste some utilities. It's some small thing, and if there's no other place where you want to place these Syria laser gates, it's always a nice idea to put them on a bulletproof camera just to give them a little bit of an extra life, a secondary life, you can almost say, because there's 2 pieces of utility that need to be used.
Well, they're about to get a little bit of an awakening here as Jacuzzi gets popped open. Bit of a rotation and a bit of a new positioning here. Talon making sure they get some of this work done early on. There's a player not too far away. And it's going to become a very early bout of aggression here. That's sort of Cyclops is setting up for. They're kind of making the statement and putting bullets out over the top and making their statement known here. It's a low catch, so no true catch on that player underneath. The reverse Selmas, though, mean that it's a slightly different story. And now that Gym Bastion, that lockdown with all the mute jammers, all the frost mats and everything else inside there, it's not quite as sturdy as it once was.
Definitely not. We have some prisms being thrown around the corner just to check if someone was there. Not the case, of course. And Black Ray, even though they have opened it up from below, is still going to be able to play in the gym and use it as a bit of a bastion. Finds the kill to Canos, who was playing below, who's basically always playing below.
Yeah, I think he just, if there's a floor, he's underneath it. And that sort of puts them a little bit behind the pace that they can apply here. Talon, they're not entirely sure how to approach this. They're not entirely sure how to try and find their way and fight their way through. There's destruction.
Bit of a miss.
Wasn't even a reveal, though, on the first shot, so I'm not entirely sure what happened there. It definitely flickered.
Might have been the game having some mercy there. Either way, 4v5 currently. Grenades are attempted to be used from below, and I believe someone might have just rotated in that one. No, Zager that went through, saved his life with it without him even knowing, but gets swung, and as he finds that kill, Syria laser gates are being opened up. It's still a player around in Logi and also in the gym. Both fall. Talon have only one member left. It's Damek here that needs to try and clutch it out, and what does he have? He has a grenade, he has 110 HP, and a bunch of bullets in this L85, but he's being flanked from right behind him, I believe. No, that's a prone angle there. Also a Black Eye on the board as a C4 to fly out. Finds that kill on 1v2. Still very doable, but only 10 seconds left, and having no clue where these players are is going to be making this very difficult, if not impossible for him. 3 fires are coming out. He finds one, but not being able to pick up the kill. Eventually, it's Cyclops that win the round and puts us up 4-3.
It was a bit awkward there for Talon. They weren't entirely sure how to come in. They seemed a little bit lost on the hold, on the approach that they wanted to do. There was some smart ideas opening up the hatch from underneath and the play that they could do with the grenades, but none of it really actualized into a take. None of it came together as a full point-to-point, thread-to-thread. This is how we're going to take over the site, and it sort of suffered because of that. It ended up being a bit of a blind charge, and when you're doing that against the guns of anybody, let alone Cyclops, you're probably going to come off worse off. Here and CC, I think we'll probably potentially see more of a together idea of how to broach it, because Jim is, you know, out of the 3, the most work in progress, I think.
There's definitely some work there, yeah. We're headed towards Church and Arsenal. This is that basement. I mean, it is one of the toughest sites to attack, but everybody has an idea on how to do it, right? That makes it kind of a tricky one, because where Gym is a side that wasn't always played, there's teams that just aren't really good at attacking it, but will still win it in the end because it's a bit more tricky to hold. I cannot say that most of the Church Arsenal attacks are really bad, so to say. They're normally quite good. It's just that the positions for the defenders are just a lot more, well, defendable, which allows them to just hold on, even if the attack is quite good. Either way, Cyclops on that defense, a bit of a roam coming out in the garage. Question, of course, will be if Talon is going to be able to catch that one off before too much damage is done. I believe Soldier is out there. Repelled up onto the CCTV balcony. He's starting to go from above. So it seems to be top-down clear here. They want to make sure that they get rid of all the roamers, and if they do that as a team, they should be done with that very quickly here.
Okay, Talon, my questions are still sort of put around you. Cyclops could pull themselves back level here. They, you know, did a classical enough and Well, there's more than enough to start. Black Ray with the run-out takes care of Soldier, and it's a very early removal of the Zephyr, of a lot of utility, of a big player there as well, who's been a bit of a driving force. It's still up in the air, but that's twice we've had that early blow here.
Call it as well, like he's out there. Do they know? Because we have Soldier up on the rappel for the wall, and of course probably opening up with the impact grenade, which gives then the information out towards Black Ray. Hey, there is someone up there. There is someone near. Let's just go for that run out, see if we can pick up the kill, and successfully done so. A man advantage now for Cyclops, who are looking to find the 4-4 mark. And where their attacks might have not been super clean due to them struggling with time, basically sending one man down to hunt a roamer downstairs. And every time they were in the basement, the roamer was not in Canos. And every time they were not in the basement, Canos was. So bit of a cat and mouse game here that they don't have to play on defense, or at least they are the ones trying to sneak away in between the attacks their fingers. Oh, that is dirty. That is a good shot.
Sometimes it happens. That's practice, that's prep, and that's why you shoot out some of the softs that you see. Caught out the player that was otherwise trying to make the rotate round onto the back there. It's an important part. It's an important player as well. You're looking at the positioning and the pressure that could have applied a little bit later on. Here, there is still loose players and loose threats, but 40 seconds. It's the same problems I sort of talked about Cyclops' approach here before. It's not a huge amount of time, and they're still formulating. They're still sort of working themselves out. A grenade catches Anaton, though, and that's the echo off the board. Whether they truly knew where he was or what he was doing, either way, it's a big bit to take out of them with a last dash second push. Gator, he's stepping into where this breach has happened. He's been able to stop it, fully popping off. And there it is. Demic, though, is able to take one. It's a 3 versus 2. They lose the diffuser carrier on the door itself. Heady loses out an important fight against the Arunia. 2 versus 2 and only a pocket full of seconds left. Demic is tucked in. There's a bit of cover coming from that opening breach here. They have just enough time. It's a swing around the corridor. There's one. There's the spray towards the other. Suzu C. A huge rotate doesn't quite come through. Canos is able to just keep this 2-round buffer.
Wanted to go for the rotate there, wasn't quite able to be quick enough with it. I mean, he understood why, but you didn't really have the manpower. It just leaves one person on side, and if they're going in for the plants, then you need to be really quick on that rotate to come back down from the main stairs. Unfortunately, was forced to drop through that hatch. Hope for the best. And the best was being taken out quite quickly. 5-3, Talon in the lead, keeps that 2-round buffer. You just said it. Cyclops rerunning it here at the basement site. Seeing if they can find some success now. I mean, they were quite close. There was some close calls. Let's just say that if the roamers wouldn't have been picked up the way they have been, that could have been a successful round for them. So maybe a bit more turtle coming out here from Cyclops. Or maybe they will play upstairs with some roamers, get droned out, waste some time, fall back through blue or any of the hatches that they could leave open if they want to. There's multiple options to go for it. Depends on what they want to play for now. Shield set up in the hallway as well, watching the main staircase in the end. So if they do come down there, Cyclops has a bit of a measure ready. And former A-Gator is also a bulletproof cam that will be watching it, so you don't even need to play behind that shield. It's just forming and functioning as a bit of cover right now.
It's a different hold as well. They've obviously pulled off the Maestro, pulled off the Echo. They're going for something a little bit more aggressive, and to be honest, I think it can work well for them because they're a team that does lean in to approaches, normally better than others.
See it. Black Ray doesn't see it. He's being spotted. He's being sprayed through the soft wall behind him. The doors are being used as well, and there's still a drone watching him, pinging him. And they know his every move. The grenades are coming through, and that is very unfortunate timing there from Heady. Allows Black Ray to fall back after he tried to toss in the second grenade.
That's it. He was still able to cancel that animation, do a huge amount of damage, but a kill is a much better story than a huge amount of damage. And here, they've got themselves back tucked in towards the site itself. As he said, there was a drone revealing the whole true story, and sometimes it's quiet, too quiet, and then sometimes he only gets shot in the face. He's able to survive for now, and that's a big part of potentially doing damage later. The potential of their opponents as well is still on the board with the Monty, which we haven't seen played too much, but the shield approach from Cyclops was effective down here before, so why not?
It's always going to be a question of how will it be played, and uses his own can openers, you know, to create himself an opening. So he could just... oh, no, that's so dangerous. There's someone in dirt there. He's going to be able to swing out. No, he doesn't swing out. That's a missed opportunity, and I know exactly he's in there now. Canos just waiting for the grenade to pop around. He's escaping, though. No, he's not. Had he finds that kill. But that should have gone the other way around. That should have been Canos dead. That should have been him swinging out and picking up that kill.
That would have been a freebie for Black Gray, and that's a moment where, from our position of omnipotence, we know how close it is. And he'll see that later and probably regret not just having a quick look and seeing what was there, hoping he wouldn't get drowned out or misdroned potentially. But the shield has been able to make its way through. They have a minute. Gatorad in a position to try and more directly contest the previous approach, but this time it's sort of coming from a slightly different angle. At least it gives them some solidity. Anaton, he's being massively droned out here. The hatch is open above. They still have a camera that's pinging all the movement, so a C4, whether they still have one, they do, but they're not using it yet.
It's in handout. Now back in pocket. Still knowing that someone is up there. C4 gets used, a lot of damage done towards Demic, but he lives for now, gets taken out. It's a 4-on-3 situation, and Gatorada quickly trying to open up some extra lines aside for his teammates there, but as they lose control of blue, Canos is now going to be able to lock these two off. The diffuser gets dropped, however, and that turns it into a 2-on-2 situation. And Monty goes aggressive here. Is he going to be able to pick up the kills? That's the big question. It's Gatorada with a pistol up against two, and that loses them the round. Hetty gets the final one, and Talon are a match point.
Talon just able to keep themselves dug in and clawed to that approach. They were suffering on the other side. The bodies that were trying to get the push from Kitchen, all of them dropped, all of them pulled apart by the angle. Cyclops, they were opening up some width to their hold as well. The rotation round on the back, just at the side of the double door. They were in position to try and put some pressure back on, but suffering, and now having to tie 3 rounds in a row, which would double their total for the entirety of this game so far, just to find themselves in OT. Talon, they're back to this form that they've been flying so well this split.
I like the 2 jokes you've been able to fit in for Talon in the last 2 sentences. Yeah, indeed. Well done. Would have been something if they played in EUL with our Phoenix Trophy.
I know.
That would have opened up so many different avenues. Out of the way, Talon doing really well. And, Emmy, they're 1 point away from joining Damwon Gaming Kia. Well, Damwon Kia. In the playoffs for APAC. And I believe that it was also one of the APAC South teams that has already confirmed their spot. Maybe
You have a look into that.
I'm going to have a look. I think it was Knights.
I think, yeah, I
don't want to say it.
APAC South, our sister stream, they had a very competitive last split, and this split, I think they sort of had a bit of a tops and bottoms of the...
So it hasn't been 100% confirmed, and it's also not Knights, it's Direwolves, which we back then knew as 7th Heaven.
That was a long
and Electrify when they were back here. Back then, bottom of the board. They've managed to find a way up to the top here. 12 points, Chiefs following with 9, and IG 9 behind as well. So they haven't confirmed anybody as of yet. We are about to confirm our second team.
Wow, I guess everybody needs to watch APAC South Playdays.
I do. Just
to the audience.
Yeah, I know. Just to farm my packs.
I know that you do.
Watch it. Watch Dev. The Aussie boys.
Little Dev Martyr.
I thought, like, during last aside, it's the first time I actually met him. It's like we've worked together. And
so surprisingly tall.
Surprising. Yes.
Anyway, enough about how much we love Dev, though we do. It's also about how much Talon love winning, and Cyclops love their comeback stories. There is 3 rounds. There's still rounds for them to try and put this pressure on, and they've been pretty good at getting the opener usually. They've been pretty good at getting themselves into positions. Black Gray was punished in 2 different massive locations before, and him being a name that's frequently sort of popped up well in that entry statistic is never going to help Cyclops' chances. But they still almost pulled it back to claw it from that situation into a 2 versus 2, 10 seconds left. It's close, but close, unfortunately, tells a very different story to 6-3.
For sure, the 6-3 is not looking too favorable for Cyclops here. And yes, of course, some of these rounds could have been a bit of a coin flip in how it ended up in the end of it. But you know, if that coin flip keeps falling into the same direction, eventually you're going to be losing it. Aziz is trying to figure out how high he needs to go before he can surpass that Mute Jammer. Has found it, and that means Jacuzzi Wall is opening up for the side of Talon. At least not yet. They're holding on to it for now, I believe, until someone is in a position to actually challenge it. And once they do, that will be opened up, and someone will be able to instantly go for a bit of an aggressive take there. Actually, as that goes back up there and then falls back off, so I'm not quite sure. But the opening is there, and the pressure will be on the feet. Well, Cyclops has a head spotted out, but as he's almost lost his own as well, so we'll decide to fall back instead.
Yeah, doesn't need to sort of stick himself into that situation. As I said before, the last time Talon were here, they didn't really seem like they knew how they wanted to approach this. They're going with a slightly different one this time round, and it's going to start with the cook grenade round to that rotation.
Yes!
Just catches him out. If he'd have taken a step further the other way, he might have been safe, at least damaged, but here destroyed. And that is that sort of wave of the flag. That is something they couldn't even manage before. Black Grey, he's still a bit loose. He might go for a bit of a retake. There is a drone watching it, and in the meantime, Agate has been able to pull some of that solidity back into the side.
Oh, he misses the shots!
But does enough to sort of reveal the location. That doesn't stop the grenade, though. Canos! He decided to stick it out. He wasn't massively focused. He knew he had enough safety just to pull off that play and hoped he'd be able to stem it, but 30 seconds. You assume there's been a bit of a rotation round on CC's side to try and stack up inside the site itself. Suzuki and Anaton doing the best to lock on the door, the two bodies on that main stairs, but they have that breach open. So if they try and slip their way through, they can get behind that reinforced wall. Anaton, in the meantime, is able to swing around, get one. There's Soldier and Heady getting one apiece. It's just Anaton left. Anaton, he drives his way through into logistics. Heady's going to see if he can stick the plant. Demic is watching for the rotation. The reveal on the player and the positioning. The swing round doesn't see them behind the one. Solid bit for a great take by Anaton for a 1 versus 1 here to try and keep Cyclops in this game. They've pulled themselves back to the rotation. The hot pings are coming through. That bulletproof on the side, and they're still sprinting either side of that single reinforcement.
Oh, he gets it, Anaton!
The pistol for the quad kill. Tried to take a dash, but Cyclops, well, mainly Anaton, they're not done yet.
Anaton, make sure that Cyclops survives for a little bit longer. That is an amazing clutch coming through there. Maybe a bit too aggressive. Maybe, you know, you could have held more passive angles, waiting for him to walk in. But what do you do when a man is just on fire like that in that round? Talon, they found some success. 2 grenade kills came in massively for them there. Yes, there was a bit of a response as he's taken out before. But after that, Anaton able to pick up those quad kills. Azami,
You're not allowed to play Azami yet.
Ooh, that's gonna be a rehost or a TK. I'm not quite sure which one that will be.
Hey, we're not the admin.
I know we're not. I'm just wondering what solution they'll come up with.
We don't come up with solutions. We just relay the solutions given to us. I assume they're talking to admins about it right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't read the rulebook. Or I haven't read the rulebook. I don't know if I am.
Can you not read?
I don't know if I can. I've not tried.
I've read it a couple of times, yeah.
I've never known what the official stance is. I've never known anything.
Yeah, see, I've never checked because we always had repicks.
Because I think
we had 6 picks, so there was never an issue.
Yeah.
And now they've lost it for yeah. So we're just waiting for now, and
we'll let you know when
we'll let you know when we know.
We'll. I guess.
I'm wondering if they continue playing.
I mean, they
might just.
Can't.
I mean, they can't, right? But
not with Azami.
They are. So Azami is on the play. All right.
What?
Probably not allowed to use the gadget. I think that's gonna be it. You cannot use the gadget. Instead, I guess maybe.
Okay, guys, breaking. We have the first Azami
player Pro League.
Whoa!
This is insane. APAC North is on different levels.
APAC North, different levels. Everybody, get ready for some.
I'm sure the Kiba is not allowed to be
used.
used.
Yeah, the Kiba 100%.
So this way, it's a gun. You do not need to TK. We do not need to rehost. It's your own fault. You lose an operator gadget. Oh, we're going for a rehost anyway. Okay,
we don't have the first. We technically had the first.
We technically had the first prep phase with it.
First prep phase of her in comp play.
Okay.
We can take that.
But now the question is, what is the decision going to be?
They look like they're in a good stead and smiling and happy, so I'm going to assume it's not a forfeit. It's a rehost.
It's a rehost.
It's a rehost. These mistakes happen, and I think to be honest, it's, you know, whether I'm only speaking entirely hypothetically here.
Yes.
Entirely metaphorically. Nobody please take my word as gospel. But a lot of these players want to win the right way.
They do, right?
A lot of these players, a lot of these teams want to win the proper way. So sometimes these actually questions are posed towards the opposing players of like what should happen. You know.
Yeah, do you want them to TK? I don't think they'll ask, because then...
Yeah, you don't put the pressure. It's the admin's choice to make, but it's a rule book, and you hope that it's devised with the player's best interest in mind and to create the best show possible.
I mean, it's the best for
You would
competitive
hope.
integrity for the players and everybody involved.
I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. As I said, I haven't read it. I don't write it. I have no jurisdiction over the rules of competitive Rainbow Six Siege, which is a good thing. I don't think I should. I don't deserve that power.
What rules would you implement?
Oh, it's TDM.
Okay, well, we're going to TDM Siege for the next SI.
Imagine seeing the
I just
teams
want
in a TDM tournament.
I just want SI best of 7, but the 7th map is going to be Golden Deeg on Hereford Base.
What do you meme fight? I would love to see some of the best teams in Siege go up against each other in TDM. If they ever did another like show match of like pros versus pros, give me a TDM of the best gunners of like EU, the best gunners of NA, and the best gunners of LATAM, and the best gunners of APAC, in like a little mini tournament. Imagine that. That'd be sick. Fresh is like, nah. Does it not? Apparently TDM doesn't exist. Well, they've got a year until the next SI. They can go. You can get on that. Everyone in chat, wouldn't that be? Imagine the stat. Who would you put for your APAC lineup? 5 of the best gunners in a TDM. Who are you gonna bring? We're on APAC. Let's bring APAC.
Rin. Can we just put Damon Kia in?
No.
I find a hard question because they're all very incredibly talented players.
Yeah.
I mean, Shal in his top. I'm not sure if
you have recent kill record breaking Elevate players.
Yeah, we have an Agiri. That would be a good one to put in there. So let's go Rin and Agiri. That's 2 already. I'm so like, okay, super teams, putting them together.
This isn't
it's very tough.
But that's the thing. The conversation that I'm putting forward during this rehost is it's not just a super team of Siege team where you've got to think of comp and you've got to think of everything the same way they did on an SI post show however long ago that was.
Yeah, but then, don't we just get the previous G2 super team then?
No.
If you don't think about comp.
Would that be allowed? Because technically that's from, you have...
No, I'm in it as a joke, as in like they only have fraggers, no support.
Okay, no, I know that.
Which is basically what we're looking at here.
Okay, but I don't know. Think about it. I don't know, chat. What you guys?
Yeah. What do you want to get in?
Who would you put in your top? And if you want it, the brain theorize it for NA and EU and Latin America, and then we'll spend a year convincing Ubisoft it would be cool to see as the show match.
So the entire dev team will have to work on making it available in customs just for that show match.
Thanks, dev team. I love you.
Thank you.
Kiss, kiss. 6-4, we're back in. Noah's Army. That's good.
Who played as Army again?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't know either. I was like, maybe they're going to go for the Capcan instead. Same gun. Either way, it is 6-4. So no repercussions whatsoever due to this. Just a rehost. Quick time to get everything back on schedule. Or rather for Cyclops. You know, they won a round. It's, I mean... They were brought out of momentum, but so was Talon, of course. They are a round away from winning. And Cyclops, of course, need 2 more to bring it to OT currently. So let's see if they are able to do that. Again, opening being made there. The Surya laser gate in there is Talon. Oh, there is already a bulletproof cam in there. I was going to say, is there a bulletproof cam in there? Is this a bit camouflaged? Same color, but it's in there, yeah. It definitely is. So it's going to be giving away the information. And we are in bar stage. And now, my question is, how much did Talon already know from that, right? How much were they aware that bar stage is going to be played?
Well, you assume in a rehost that, I mean, I'd already written down bar.
Yeah.
The site would have had to be the same. The operators outside of his army
yes,
would have to be the same.
But if the rehost is called before lock, then technically you can still swap with
I don't think a rehost was called. It was a sorry that was typed into chat.
Yeah.
Because I don't think even they knew what was going to happen next. It was down to the admins to decide, and you would assume that was how it was taken. So here we find ourselves.
What are you doing?
Taken. Black Ray knocked out by Demic there. They had all the intel in the world for that player. They're able to pop them out and get quick control of Garage.
Quick control indeed. 2 minutes left on that clock now. An early frag here for Talon. That is going to be helping them very much here because well, Black Ray, of course, he has been prone to be the entry death here and there, but he's still a very good gunner. If you do not take account of the whiff, of course, that happened in the bar previous round. Either way, him gone is sending a lot of pressure away that Cyclops has. Colorado making some punch holes there. Might be even a smiley face in the wall from Strip to have some angles all the way over. No, it wasn't a smiley face. I thought for a second he was going to make one. It's just to watch all the way through that double door, through the billiards, to make sure you might be able to slightly challenge the wall on the back of stage there, from stock to stage.
Yeah, it's pop-up Gatorada. And you've got to see if you can knock down the right one. But Talon, they're still getting themselves the control here. It becomes this second story thing. You need the lockdown on the top of stage. You need to make sure they can't just peek through the hatch. You need to sort of clear that little bit of space. It's why you'll see a lot of openings around kitchen. It's why you'll see pressure that comes from logistics. Talking of, there it is, but it's actually underneath. Anderson's making sure they don't just have the clean entrance here onto that back line.
They could just plant. They're in a good position here. I think they can go for a plant. Because what do they have? Do they have any black eyes? Yes. Okay, so they do have information. That could be the saving grace. There is also, of course, the bulletproof camp. I'm not quite sure if that would go far enough if they go right on the stage. This is more important, though. The Valkyrie trying to creep back up. But it seems like Aziz is very well aware of this situation here. Trying to go for the swing, just not completely here. Might be a teammate that comes through. The shadow gives it away. And that forces the Valkyrie of Anita to fall back, completely blinded. However, this allows him, gives him a little bit of space, probably hoping that Anaton indeed is going to fall back.
26 seconds, though, and this is all working into Cyclops' favor. Anaton is still there, still causing problems. He's still ready to strike at the right moment, and there it is. Doesn't quite get the confirmation on the kill, but finds the second. The diffuser is cold, and everything is lighting up Cyclops in the top right of your screen. They've got to see if they can get that recollection, but it's an absolute dead man's land. There's the catch, there's the pings, there's still all the bodies and the pressure. They tried to find the fights. At that point, there was nothing else to do. Cyclops clutch. One more round. Only one separates an attack timeout by Talon.
Yeah, being called in now. I mean, a slight oversight there. I think the flank should have still been watched in that position. You know someone was down there. Yes, you flashed him. Yes, you had a bit of a gunfight. But they can always come back. And what did they have to lose at that point, right? I mean, there was little time left. If you come back up, you are going to be able to sow some chaos in that final execute. And are able to at least slow down the approach just enough to allow the rest of the Cyclops members to ensure that they were able to pick up kills as well. That gives them this round, 6-5. 20 seconds left in the attack time, and they have some small amount of time left to truly ensure themselves that this last attacking round is going to be sticking here. But it's kind of in the open which one it will be, because they just went to a quaternary site. See, we do get to use that word every now and then. It's good, I know.
Homework is fun.
But yeah, and that means there's going to be at least 2 open now for the side of Cyclops.
The problem is, it's Church and CCTV. It's where we've not really seen things hit the best mark for Cyclops because, well, Talon know what to do on their attacks. When Talon are confused, when Talon are puzzled in themselves more than what their opponents have put before them is where they struggle the most. And that might be the sort of worry. That's the problem for Cyclops right now because twice we've seen holds an approach down here, not even going to gamble with CCTV in terms of it being an option because, well, it's probably where Talon know the most about themselves.
Yeah, for sure. But they will soon find out, though. It's not going to be up on that top floor, so you might see some repicks coming in. And the multi worked out quite well, so we might see a repick to that. Quite sure they were. No repicks coming. Oh, yeah, there it is, the fuse. I honestly, I really like the fuse on this site because I said it before, I'm going to say it again. There's a lot of information you can gain from it. I mean, it's not necessarily about getting the kills with the cluster charges. You're going to be able to ensure yourself that the entirety of the arsenal is clear on one side of it. So that would mean you only have to focus on AK and Box's side rather than having to deal with both those angles when you start for the drop. And besides that, you also take out utilities, so EVIs that have been placed, would they be there? Even yokai drones that could be located right on the top, shields, ADSs, mute jammers, every single thing one of those little grenades will meet will be destroyed. So it's a utility clear, it's information gain, and sometimes you also manage to get a kill out of it.
So, this is it when it comes together for Talon. They know the site, they need to put the pressure on, and, well, they found Blackray so quickly. Once again, he is instantly punished for this loose play that he had real success with on the opening CAG defenses, and then since then has been shut down time and time and time again. It keeps forcing Cyclops into this 4 versus 5.
It does force them into a man deficit indeed. And, you know, they have been able to deal with it quite well in the previous 2 rounds. Of course, one was a bit of a clutch. The other one was more of a actual lockout here. And as Talon now actually starts to head towards the side, I think the big difference here is that there's not really an opportunity for roamers anymore. That has been locked out as soon as Blackray was picked up. Those staircases will be watched now, too risky to head up on, and that means you will be at the saving grace here from Talon and your own guns. You need to make sure you outgun them if they start to open up. And this Nitrocell might be a good start here because, of course, we did see the Sledgehammer that is starting to open up. I'm not quite sure if that's in the kitchen. Yeah, slightly, though. Gadarada still has that C4 in pocket, is waiting for that one to be opened up right near him. And as Aegir gets the kill onto Kalos, that actually brings it back in favor for Cyclops here.
Wow, that's it. And here's that game that Cyclops have played. If I say they're playing in the 4 versus 5, luckily there's still a lot of force left in that 4. They've went back to a little bit of the first time they were here where they lost with the Echo, but otherwise still trying to keep themselves locked in for the pressure to be applied. They have a lot of activity around those boxes, but Talon is seemingly setting themselves up for a push. However, it's their latest coming in from that Moto side and the main double door.
It's going to be a triple wall push. I think it will be. They need to make sure they find some success here. There's still 2 Selmas left. These need to pop off well. As this goes for a drop, it's going to be putting in a cluster charge, maybe. Yep, there it comes. It's going to be clearing off anything right behind it, but the Mew Jammers are blocking this. There's no way they can do this, and that means that this might be the end here. This might go to overtime in favor of Cyclops, unless they gun them out here. 1 kill goes in favor either way, but it's going to be traded continuously here. It's 1 kill from the cluster charge. It's only up to Aegator now. The plant is going down. Is he going to be able to find a kill? He sees that. No, he does not. He's not able to get it here. No, he gets it at the end. Cyclops get the clutch. A last second kill on the planter. A last millisecond kill. And again, a clutch to come through for Cyclops to keep them in the game.
Oh, that's going to be close. Oh, that's going to be close. I turned into a cowboy for a second.
My voice just cracked 20 times in one sentence.
Yeah! That was close. They pre-fired one of the first places, swung onto the second. The cover was a cautious one. He was pulling in and out of Moto door. He thought he might have been what was seen, but at that point, you're just revealing the planter and... Oh, let's see it. Let's see it. How close?
Slow it down even more. Here he comes. 0.237. That is so close. That's a tick, basically. And if only that gunfight would have been a little bit longer there, then the plant would have gone down. Of course, then he might have still had the clutch, but it would have been a second gun up and running. Would have been quite worth it. First round of overtime, Talon on the attack, Cyclops on the defense, still up to CCTV go. And overtime, the site rotation is completely reset, so Cyclops can choose out of every single site available on the map to try and go for a defense here. And they choose to go for CCTV, which is, of course, the main side of Clubhouse. Everybody knows how to defend it, everybody knows how to attack it.
It's a gamble, which is a weird thing to say about CC because, as I said, it's been avoided this whole time by Cyclops. Talon are good when they know what they're attacking, and they're hoping that they've kind of messed with Talon's expectations at this point, who probably predicted it would be a Jim, which has been the first pick, and both times a lock-in for Cyclops' defense. So, sort of going to the one site that hasn't been seen, the one site that's been a bit of a stretch, well, maybe it'll play against them. Granted, you know, with attacker repick, you can still sort of see where the approach is coming from, but it's different. You've got yourself in a mindset, you've got yourself in an approach ready to go here. The shield wants to try and strong arm its way up onto Garrett. It's going to just pop into the corner and get the read and the intel, the slow creep all the way to the top.
Sees a head there on the player, Suzuki, that was on the drone earlier on. Is not quite able to find it now. Ping on the second panel, though. is Gator. Also, player down below in baby steps is out there to try and challenge whatever is coming up next. And well, there is quite a bit of utility out here from Mute and, of course, the Mozzie. Both carry a C4. Both will attempt to toss it right behind him. It's actually going towards the door. No one there. That's the first one gone. Suddenly a lot of utility out of way to get rid of that Monte.
Yeah, it was for a Gambit and a Gambler sort of saying, well, if the Monty's getting this confident, it means something else is about to happen. Monty's just pinging. He's happy to sort of sit there. He's playing this with a good stretch. The blinds start to come through. Monty's going to get blinded as well. The Mozzie isn't, but as long as he doesn't move and keeps his audio on, he'll be slightly in the right place. Gator, he's buying a lot of time here. There's that single player just underneath the window as well that's waiting to pop up at the right time. Gatorada suffers, but he's not going to overextend. Cyclops, they can be aggressive outside Blackgrave. Have generally played themselves quite passive, and to be fair, this time round, he's made sure he's part of that here. He's not overextending, and Talon, well, they've pushed some ground, but the Mozzie being able to survive for 2 minutes is having to force some play, some idea here. There's the second player that's coming around. The grenade just pops in and tacks around, takes care of Suzuki. The spray on the pistol. Now they're brave enough to go for it. The Mozzie's still standing. The Monty, he's doing everything right here, and he's finally been able to find it for 30 seconds. A 3 versus 2, a 3 versus 1, but they're battling back in. Heady on the window. He's lost the Monty. He's got to see if he can find either Gatorada and Blackgrave, who are so frequently the first off the board, as one of the last 2 names still on it. Either of them are actually off the site at this point. They're waiting for the plant to come through, but 2 impacts. You're right. Underneath, there's the first, and is able to do most of the damage to his health. The spray catches the second. The second doesn't catch Heady. He's going to see if he can stick it. 11 seconds. If he pops up, it's a huge gamble. He knows he doesn't have a chance to try and reconfigure this. It's wide, and he's now able to slip out. He's going for the rotate. He's not quite sure where the other player is. Gatorada has been playing this at a very long stretch for a very long period of time, and he's been able to do some big work before. Heady himself doesn't have anything else he can really offer in the stretch, but they've got the breach, they've got the cover. Whether they have intel or not, I'm not too sure. He's got himself stacked up with a bit of a long arm. The pings are coming through. He's sticking it for now. He's not going to get there. There it is!
No, he gets it!
He just
Cyclops, how did he get away with this?
He never fakes, pros! They don't fake.
They don't fake. This is 4 rounds in a row where Cyclops just steals these away. Talon are, like, they're doing so much right. And yes, this was from a deficit. It was a 1v2. The clutch is averted. But again, just delayed. And where the other one was 0.2 seconds in favor of Cyclops, this time it is again, but on the other side, on that defuse. And now Cyclops from a, was it 6-2 deficit?
6-3.
6-3 are up 6-7 now. A single round more to be gained. They are on the attack, and that's just an amazing amount of comebacks that we're seeing here from Cyclops. And it was game of the day, and for a while it seemed like it might have not gone that way, but then the clutch machine named Cyclops managed to be activated here. Of course, Anaton, Gator, both picking up amazing kills there at important times. Okay, round 14 here. This is a match point for Cyclops. The only one that is just in their favor. Talon has had a couple already, and if they win this round, it will be a match point for either team. Anaton bringing out the Monty as well, knowing that it will be CCTV and Cash, and you know, he loves that shield. He's like, you know, you struggled a bit with that hip fire. I'll show you how it's done if he gets the opportunity to. Big question, of course, will be, where are they going? Well, that is going to be a drone tossed in all the way towards the drone hole, but got mute gemmed, so that is going to be stuck unless he goes and grab it. It's going to be a lot of time wasted if that's Monty going all the way over to get the drone. So I think he's not going to bother too much with it. Probably is just going to throw in his second drone and try and spot out the garage. Oh, you can pick the back up? I didn't know that. You just let it roll and pick back the RC. That's something I've not seen before.
No, I never seen that either.
Yeah. Did Jack see that ever before? No? Okay.
Jack playing Flores.
Well, I mean, you know, maybe he's seen it by someone else.
Well, they get rid of the mute jammer. It's not the prettiest way. We've seen pressure put onto this wall, but if it gets the job done eventually, maybe it will at least be a way of getting it done. They're trying to find the angle there. Onto Demic, onto the split, onto just any player that overextends, but they're still in that position. Gatorada, he's ready to pop this with the Flores drone as soon as it becomes soft, which it has, and there they go. The mute jammer definitely would have stopped the approach of this, but it's popped. And now, with 1:30 gone, and Anaton on a shield, with the diffuser not too far away, he's waiting to see when he can make his approach. He knows how close these last 2 rounds would have been. Oh, Black-Grey able to find the first. The swing round is picked back up. The grenade gets heady. Almost the man of the moment at the previous round, but not quite. And now they still have that man advantage.
1 man advantage here. The Monty still on the board is spawning out. The Thunderbird up on panel 2. Probably will be pushing that very soon here. The default cam on the garage is still up. That is something that we'll have to just live with for now, because the Monty is by no way going to be trying to get rid of that one. That's a C4 tossed out. That's not going to be exploded until the Monty walks past again. So that's going to be pinged. Please, a single bullet there. Please, very much. Thank you, teammates. And that means he's going to be pushing up now. And as Ayageta gets downed by the Thunderbird loses her life instead. So, 35 seconds. 2 members left on the side of Talon. 4 here for Cyclops. The time is slowly ticking down. Smoke canisters are being used and will deal small amounts of damage, but there's no direct entry from the garage side of things here. So Canos just needs to hold in that jump in just to make sure that the Monty cannot reach the side.
Trying to find the players with the angle and the destruction of those Selmas underneath. It's a clever push. Talking of, there's a Monty
blocked off.
who's stacked up right into the door. They've blocked it off, but a rotate could come through on the opposite side. If they're not cautious here, it could suddenly be a big moment. Do they know that it's being put down? He's going to try and find the first fight, and there it is. Dropped and down, but caught almost instantly. It's just a man behind the shield. A 3 versus 1. Oh. Not for very long. Talon, they unfortunately fall a bit to bits. 2 very close rounds. That, to be fair, they shouldn't have been Cyclopses, but at the end of the day, they were. And hey, that's the animation we're probably going to be the first to see here on a stream.
It's very fitting, actually, for basically what Anaton did there, just holding off the push, holding off the last man standing for Talon, trying to bring it back. And what turned out to be a match that seemed to be going to Talon quite easily has been brought back by Cyclops, by clutch after clutch after clutch after clutch. They just continued up until that last round where they were finally dominant over their team and were able to take the win. 2 points for them, 1 for Talon, and that means that the battle for the top is still quite on.
Oh, it never ended. It never ended. Demon Kia, they're sitting pretty. They are the only team from APAC North and South confirmed for the playoffs, and the others are still squabbling amongst themselves. I dropped my pen, and it's going to take me a while to get that back up, so we'll go to a quick break before we're back with our desk for one more time today.